Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where we are finishing up the copper powder project today for our nuclear pasta. That's right, after using up and processing almost all of the copper ore in the world, on our quest to make 60 nuclear pasta per minute, we are now at the last 30% of it, the last 3,500 copper powder. And with this beautiful blueprint, we are going to be able to do so. Last time we put together this 3-part blueprint with a foundation, middle section, and hat, which allows us to stack up refineries in sets of 16, so each stack here can deal with 600 copper ore and produce 250 copper powder. All with a simple input and output that's right at the base here. And the only real question is where we're getting the ore from. And since we have gathered up pretty much all of the ore around here, there's only one place left with any copper at all. The Dune Desert, nature's last bastion. The only place in the world that I haven't absolutely obliterated yet. But oh, have I had plans for the area for a long time. And today's the day we finally break through. With a chew. That's right, train tracks. Before we can start processing powder, we gotta actually have power to process, and the train stations can bring it over. So we'll bring the track over, connect it up to a temporary station.tm, and then set up a project house as our base of operations. And also so we have a portal to get us around places. Like, what do you think I'm gonna do? A peasant trot or use a hypertube cannon in current year? I don't think so. No, project portal. It's time to reconfigure. We're going to there. Disconnect. Reconnect. Charge up. And now, let's get this party started. All right. And back over this way. I organized things a little bit better. And then also added in a whole new train track over there. But Gibbs, you just brought in the train. Why is there another track? Like, why on earth does it go all the way over to there? Well, it's because of that little train going right there. That train is carrying uranium to our nuclear power plant. And over in the Dune Desert here, we are going to have lots of copper powder trains and more stuff moving and grooving in and out of this zone. And if all the trains went along this track that I decorated over that way, it could get in the way of the uranium train, thus stalling our nuclear power plant and ending the world. And so that doesn't happen, this new track bypasses all the major intersections in the world, including the one over to our nuclear power plant there, so that the copper powder trains won't interrupt that system. It totally dodges it and goes through this empty train line. Because the deal here is we need to make 3,500 copper powder per minute and transport it to the other side of the world. And you better believe bringing things from A to B is gonna require at least 6 trains, at least. We'll focus on the throughput a little bit more once we have something to put through the system. That's right, it's copper time, baby! Give me the goods! Start the extraction! And now the construction of our hellspires. So last time, we built this blueprint and I kind of showed off my thought process, how it works, and all that jazz. But if you missed it, the gist of it is the base here just has the inputs and outputs, and then this core part here deals with everything else. So inside is 4 refineries with a pure copper ingot recipe that eats all of the ore, and then all of the ingots go into the one constructor in the middle here, and then everything goes down through logistics lanes on this end to leave the tower. Only thing we gotta be careful of is that when we're looking through it, we leave that logistics lane and this one free for the inputs and outputs. And everything else should be fine. So we'll have like a lift that goes up from there, up through the system, and we're chilling. Just with every blueprint, we just gotta nudge it into place nicely. What is this little gap here? Why is there a little gap? Might be because of the foliage, we can deal with that. Or it's just because the blueprints are funky. Because there's so many beams and details in this, they don't connect together super well, even in blueprint mode. So I suppose with every tower, you're gonna have to nudge them into their specific place, which is fine, so long as they work. Good. Now to stack it all up. So once we have the main core in and the base down, we put on the hats here. And this is just so we can transition from one core to the next. So we'll just nudge that all in. Everything kind of clips together nicely. And once that's in, grab the core again and stack her on top. Making ensure logistics lanes are free. Once we got that going, we repeat the process until we have 16 refineries built into the tower. Then we just gotta work on getting the guts all connected. Because for all intents and purposes, this is done. Just doesn't work.
But that means it's not done yet, Kibitz.
Yes, okay, you know what? You're right. You're true. All right, how do we actually finish this up then? Well, the logistics lanes are cleared down that way. Fantastic, that's number one. Number two is we have to get a belt all the way up this entire tower. So we're gonna use the unlimited conveyor lift trick to bring a lift all the way through that logistics lane. So way down at the bottom, we have that one belt that's pointing up, and then we'll just look into that conveyor floor hole there, making the lift go up as far as we want. And at that point, we can just add in splitters onto the vertical lift, like so, and manually connect them. We make everything copper. And we dodge all of the belts in here. Holy smokes, dude, there's so much going on. Okay, it's fine, everything's fine. Number 2, 3, and 4. Power-wise, there's a power pole right next to the logistics here. So we can just bring that through each layer of the tower. Once we connect the power to that pole, that goes to all the machines in the blueprint, so we don't have to worry about too much. And we can also power our hover pack properly, which is very nice. And then we just have to do the same thing for the outputs now. So there's that belt way downstairs there. Look all the way up. Make the length unlimited. Upgrade the belt so it looks pretty. And then we just have to add in a merger. It's the same process again, just in the other direction now. And then the inputs and outputs are done. Next step though is the SIP. Each of these refineries needs 25 water per minute because they're fully overclocked. And 25 times 16 is 400. So I'm not gonna be bringing 400 water to each of these towers. We're gonna get a 600 pipe of water from Old Lake SIP over there and stuff it in here, then call it a day. There's a lot of weird stuff that can go wrong with the water and stuff at this point, and I just want this project done. This is the last, I guess, 250 refineries out of the 750 we need. And I've learned a lot of lessons after this adventure. One of which is, water is super annoying. Why is that pipe gold? Very weird. Anyway, another lesson is to have a fluid buffer at the end of water systems as well. They can help quite a bit. But considering we are overloading the system, it really doesn't matter too much. Lastly, just gonna do a little bit of extra detailing on the last part of the puzzle here. So the top looks cool. And this hellspire is complete. Because that's what we call these bad boys. Because this project has been hell. And that is the first tower of many. We are going to be building, I think, 14 of these. We need 3,500 copper powder. So it's 14 hellspires. Great. We will build those across the kind of side of the Dune Desert here. Because I have big plans and for a centerpiece. But that is way later. With that done though, we also have to consider the water. Each of these will need 400 water, so we need about 6,000 total. Or really, because we're overstuffing the pipes. It's gonna be 8,400 water, or at least 14 pipes. Okay, lots of SIP. Well, we'll keep that in mind. In the meantime, I'm going to go from copper node to copper node. We're gonna add in a couple more of these bad boys. Pretty much all the copper nodes around here are either normal or pure, or normal as well. And a normal node fully overclocked can give us 600 ore. 600 ore goes into one of those suckers. Oh, but wait a second. I was getting way ahead of myself here. I don't even know if this works yet. Last time we didn't actually test it out, and I think we probably should before we build another 13, eh? So I figured out like a logistics line for all of the water pipes, and this is where we're gonna start gathering the SIP from. And it should be pretty straightforward. Like 14 pipes seems like a lot, but when you start overclocking water extractors, it's like no biggie. Like 2 of them is 1 pipe, and we have the ocean. So infrastructure-wise, it's gonna be fine. And then with the water tower trick in pressurizing pipes, this will be barely an inconvenience. And we've done this before in the nuclear power plant, but it's been a minute, so just to recap what that means is we build all the water extractors, then we build some extra water extractors over this way, and pump that water way up into a fluid bouffar. That way, all the water is pressurized at that height. We then bring the water all the way back down, and we can connect that pipe to any number of pipes we want, and then all of these pipes will be pressurized up to the point of the fluid buffer over there. So this is what we got going. We have all the water extractors down there. They pump the water just up to like this point. But then because we have this water tower, none of the pipes going up this way need any more pumps. In fact, we don't need any more pumps at all unless these pipes go over this height here, which is super convenient because all of our hellspires have built-in pumps that start at the first layer. And so because of this whole system, we don't have to worry about any more pumps for the rest of this project. We're chillin'. That is if this all works, which I'm pretty confident it does. So the pipeline was brought all the way down this way with the blueprint auto connect mode. The water is in, the ore is ready, and part of the system's working, but does it all work? Like there's always room for bugs, or maybe I didn't connect something in the blueprints, or just everything can go wrong, okay? It's typically how these projects work. Just looking at the power poles and indicators here, it looks like we're generally fine. If we're really running into a big problem, it's gonna be on the top row. But already a huge sign is that we actually have the water up here, because these are running at 5%. Oh, they're full of material, okay. So that's good. Water's up here. And then are all the layers actually working? Looks like it. Again, just looking at the indicators on the way down here. We're chilling. There's movement. We're grooving. Things are going to the sink. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff backlogged, I guess, while I was working on the pipe. So this number should go down to about 250. And that way we know this entire tower is working. Main thing is, the items are actually getting to each, to maybe each layer. But then sometimes there's a bit of a issue. No, just all the systems are stuffed. Okay, so it's gonna take a little while for things to balance out and drain. But the big thing, like I was trying to say, is that all the systems are connected. I didn't miss a belt or a power line, and I'm free and clear to build even more hellspires. Since you guys know how this kind of journey works, let's just rock and roll. 1, 2, 3, connect the guts, and then repeat ad nauseum. And so far, looking so cool, dude. I love these things. Like, one was fun, but 14 of them across this biome? Oh my gosh, it's gonna look amazing. But that's only if they work. So I have hooked up a lot of the towers here, but I've only left one running. And at this point, we're gonna see some real numbers. So please be 250, please. Be chill. 255, 248 I was seeing. That's about 250. Yeah, I think we're good. Like the throughput monitors do their best and give you a good idea. And on average, it's looking like this is 250 per minute. So that means the whole blueprint works. Yippee! It's also gonna be available on my Patreon. So if you wanna support me over there, check out the link in the description. Just a heads up, if you're building these yourself, they are finicky to put together. And keep an eye that they're connecting properly. If they don't connect properly, the vertical lifts that are inside don't end up lining up and you aren't able to connect like the mergers and splitters together. Dealt with that on a Twitch live stream and it was not fun. But now we are chillin'. Towers are in and we just have to go through node to node, building more and more and more. So again, at every node is a new tower pretty much. Tower here, tower there. Maybe we'll bring some towers into the cliff sides here just because, oh, it would look so cool if there was like one there. That's great. You know what really matters? It's actually where we're gonna bring our pipeline here. We only needed like 4 pipes over this way, so most of the stack was actually kind of ridiculous. No, we gotta make a turn off point. Could be right over here. Just have a pipeline go straight that way. Or we could have a goofy pipeline that goes all over the place and it would look cool. I think we're playing by the rule cool today. Let's just take a gander. We go this way, how bad would the pipeline be? We're bringing the full stack through here. There's like a handful of turns, that's okay. It's just I don't want any goofiness. Like, can we fit a whole pipe stack underneath the cliff? It would seem the answer is, oh, abso-freaking-lutely. Great. And because this blueprint has like 18 pipes available in it, yeah, that will be good for this entire project. And more. Right, Mr. Bean? Right. And it's just figuring out and finalizing exactly where we're going. There's copper node right to our left there. Wonderful. If it's a pure node, we can split it between 2 towers, so great. We'll have 1 tower there, and we'll probably bring some of the ore back into the corner over that way. Like, that spot is just calling for a hellspire to sit. It's perfect. And at this point, yeah, we're kind of just in the clear. Looks like we can just scoot over this way. We're high enough that we dodge most cliffs and like weird terrain beneath us. We already know we can get all the pipes through here. I'm seeing one little rock directly in front of us, but we might just be able to dodge that or not. Okay, so then this entire pipeline has to be moved over like 1 tile. No biggie. And from there, it's just spam, spam, spam. And then like half the towers are done. And with a quick boop on top of that, and the hellspires are complete. And my goodness, it is gorgeous. And you know, all things considered, a pretty easy project. It's just a bunch of blueprints, right? Or at least compared to other projects where we're terraforming entire biomes. Yeah, no, pretty chill here. Except for those punk bustas. We ran out of copper ore on this side of the biome, so I had to flip some towers over to the other side to deal with the rest of the project. And worst of all, that node is impure, so I could just only grab that node. Then I had to go and grab another node from right around the corner out this way, which is right there. That's not the most inconvenient part. The most inconvenient part is I couldn't just bring over my pipe stack over across the desert here, because I don't want to do too much in the middle before, you know, work on the bigger projects. So we instead need some custom solutions. Fortunately, there is a pond back here, but these custom things actually end up taking a lot more time because some of the angles can be finicky, or the whole thing could just not work for no reason. Like, hey, resource is not deep enough. Or hey, bees. No bees, please. But oh, wait a second. Okay. We can get the water extractors in. That's all we need. It's 2 water extractors per tower. Pipes would go in this way. And it's just making this look like aesthetic. And hey, look at this. I got the angle immediately. So we can have like a pipe that attaches to the system really well. And over that way, we have a little platforms for some pipes like attached to the cliffs or something. It's kind of looking like it. Yeah, it's not great, but it's serviceable. Let's just do a little A to B junction in the middle. And we want everything to be about here, right? So 1 pipe there, another pipe there. And can this just work? That'd be so nice. How does that look? It's not terrible, but you know, it could be better. If we could line this up properly, get rid of you, rebuild from A to B. And that's downright looking good. Okay, I thought this might be a whole thing, but it ain't. And even crazier, with a little bit of a schmoozing around, this actually looks pretty good. Look at these little like pillars I built in the water as well. Aren't they cool? Just to have the power poles on top of them so we didn't have to have like a full platform moving and grooving through here. Not bad. Well, except for this corner, but we don't ever have to look there again because the towers are done. Now, after doing some detailing work, like painting the foundations and adding in some extra pipes and whatnot, all in, the only annoying bit with this entire project was I actually goofed up with a train station way over here, where it was kind of like in an odd spot and I couldn't get the tracks to work, so I just had to move it a bit. Once I shimmied that over, we're in the clear. And we have our last 3,500 copper powder. That's it. We're nearing the end of Armageddon. We're gonna have the nuclear pasta. Are you ready? I almost am. The last spooky thing is the throughput issue, bringing all of the copper powder to the other side of the world. was talking about this earlier, and well, now the problem has come to fruition, and we have to really think about it. What I'm gonna do, though, is we're gonna build some train stations over here. I have this train station starter blueprint, which will help us out in building some of the stations. We'll have 3 over on this side of the planet, because I've gathered 3,000 of the copper powder, and we'll have 3 trains with 4 freight cars each, dealing with the 1,000 copper powder to bring across the planet. Why 4 freight cars? Well, the more freight cars, the higher the throughput, and hopefully the fewer the trains. At the end of the day here, if we're gonna have 3 train stations over here, I'm gonna have to have 1 more train station by the weird pillars over there. So that's gonna be 4 train stations. Each train station definitely has to have 2 trains, so that's 8 trains flying around these parts. And if this doesn't work throughput-wise, I'm in trouble. Big trouble. But odds are, it'll be fine. I've set up like 1,000,000 train stations at this point. I know how to decorate them. I have a pretty good idea of their capacities. A lot of this is really figuring out where the stations are gonna be and where the tracks are gonna go. And you know, I had mentioned I didn't want to build too much in the middle of the desert here. Well, about that, I lied. Look, we had this cool like angle going over this way, and it'd be really neat if this track like continued straight ahead, so it did. And then I was like, well, we have the other track, we have to continue that straight ahead, and now we have this crisscrossing and turns, and it's all wacky and crazy, and it's cool. It will probably super annoy future Kibs, but present Kibs has done a lot to make things work today. And if future Kibs wants to complain, take it up with management. Bad news here, although the project was straightforward, it did take a while, and I've kind of ran out of time to wait for a throughput test, because it's probably gonna take a couple hours. And so we'll wrap that up next time, along with Armageddon. Because we've done it. We've collected all of the copper. We've processed all of the powder. That is 100% done. The 12,000 powder is processed, and we already have the pressure conversion cubes for the pasta. So all that's left is the 120 particle accelerators, which we'll be building next time. So again, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more, and support me on Patreon if you want to mess with this blueprint yourself. Then until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.